That's definitely a 10.
A Girl Business podcast would like to thank its sponsors, the Crescent Hotel and Crescent Store. Be sure to follow along with Matt and his team as he brings back a historical landmark to Plumas County. Lucio's Mexican and American food restaurant. Lucio's is open Tuesday through Sunday, located in Quincy, California. Great atmosphere, and most importantly, delicious food. Oh, you're on. Okay. Welcome back to another episode of A Girl Business Podcast. Today I am in lovely Chico. We are in, what's this called? The Chico?
The Card Center.
The Card Center. It's really nice. We would film outside, but it's kind of cold. So
It is a little cold.
Yeah. And I'm here with Sadie, and she's the owner of Resolute Dog Training, and she is in 4 counties across beautiful Northern California. So I'm going to let you give as many details as far back as how you got started and how you ended up here.
Getting started, I grew up, my family's been ranching in Northern California since the 1800s, and when my grandfather got back from World War II, he started dog training, and he's a cowboy. Dog training is a lot different than what I do now.
Yeah.
But I grew up around it, and grew up around the dogs and watching him. He was a miracle worker. He could have 30 dogs, and all of them would do exactly what he said, and just the respect they had for him and the teamwork that he had with them. I loved it. I loved it, every bit of it. And he worked horses, but he got hurt real bad when I was a kid, so he didn't train horses when I was around growing up. But I did. I trained horses for a while, worked horses, and then I got hurt bad. So,
Oh my gosh.
I damaged my hip really bad in my 30s. So no more horses. And, but the dogs just, they've always been part of my life. I've always had one. There's never been a time in my life I didn't have dogs in my life. And they just make your life better. And that connection. And as my boys were growing up, I have 3 sons, and they just connected too. Like the animals, and that's just our life. It's every day. They're just part of our pack. And at the time, we were in Colorado, and my middle son was 8 years old, and we were doing 4-H has a great dog program. Love 4-H, super support 4-H, and their dog program's incredible because the kids that are soft-hearted that don't want to sell their animal at the end, they don't sell their dogs, so they get to do this great program with the dogs and learn how to be a team with their dog and learn all the handling and grooming and care and responsibility that goes with having an animal instead of letting mom feed the dog every day. And so my boys did so well with it, and they do public speaking with it, and they, it just brings them out of their shell. And so my middle boy's shy. He's very shy. He got into the dogs with the 4-H, really had a great time with it. And then we also had a Cub Scout and Boy Scout troop at the time, and he was still a Cub Scout. And we would go out and volunteer at the veterans home. And the boys were all going out and playing cards and talking and visiting with the veterans. And my boys loved it. So we went out on our own. We'd just go visit with the guys. And Ty, he's like, Mom, they don't have their dogs anymore, Mom. They can't see their dogs. And he's like, we need to bring Ranger. So Ranger, he was a 150-pound Great Pyrenees.
Oh my gosh.
Ranch dog. He guarded our livestock, and he looks like a miniature polar bear. He's just, he did good in 4-H, but I was like, oh, okay, well, let's look at this. And so we got involved with a national therapy dog program, and I did all the training. And I found John Henshaw, who runs Heart of the Rockies dog training in Canyon City, Colorado. And John just took us under his wing, me and the boys, and he met with us every week. He didn't even charge us. I'd bring him eggs and things from the farm, and I'd make him food, and he just helped us learn all the ropes with the therapy dogs. And John's big stuff. Like, he does national competitions in New York, and like he's really got a following. So it was really cool. He took us on like that, and so Ranger passed. He actually went and got his therapy dog certificate, and would go visit the library and nursing homes and the veterans home. And we just had so much fun. I mean, you walk in and people go from just depressed and, they're not at home and they've lost that connection with their animals. And you walk in with a dog and they just light up. They light up and it just, that was it. That's what we wanted to do. And so we just kept going with it. And then I ended up helping some veterans because I worked with Eagle Summit. Dave Reaver runs Eagle Summit, where they help wounded veterans get back into civilian life and being here, and their families and their wives. They have incredible programs, beautiful ranch up in Colorado. So connected with some of those veterans and helped them with some of their dogs. And I wasn't charging for any of this at the time. Like, I didn't charge, I just did it for free. I had another company, and it just was great. It was great. We had so much fun doing that. We moved out to California in 2018, back by my folks and helping them out. And it's been really good being here. And I was doing fire restoration when I first came out here. It was right after the big fires, and it was a lot of hard work. The boys and I were doing some really hard work. It was good. Then I had the VA reach out, and the VFW reach out, and they had a dog training program for service dogs for veterans, and they needed a trainer. And they were like, "We heard you're a really good trainer. Can you come help?" And at the time, I'm like trying to like build a new business. I'm like going a different direction. I ran a landscape company for 21 years and did construction and landscaping and xeriscaping, all that. And this just opened up. And I didn't have time or energy, but I was like, I'll be there. And walk in there. I think we had about 8 veterans to start with. And dogs from a little 5-pound guy up to a Rottweiler, like very mixed bag class. And we just walked that class through, wrote some curriculum. And I was like, this is where we need to be. This is what we need to do. There's nobody here doing this. And it exploded, like beyond what I could imagine. The need was so there, and service dogs are expensive. If you go buy a service dog right now, you're looking at over $50,000 to buy a fully trained dog. And I was like, that makes it impossible for most people. So that was the goal. Let's make service dogs available to normal people that maybe they don't fit the criteria to get a free program. Besides that, the free programs often take 2+ years. And then they're gonna decide, is your disability bad enough to warrant this dog, right? So this way, people get to decide for themselves. Your disability, you know your level, and you know if this dog is going to benefit you. So we come in and I'll meet with the dogs, I'll meet with the clients, and often they're bringing a dog with them, and they've already had the dog, they're already bonded with the dog, and we evaluate if they have the potential. So, and usually they do a lot. Like, we can work with most dogs. And we're not doing seeing eye dogs, right? I'm going to send them to a bigger program down in San Diego if they need that level of dog. This is a mentorship program. And a lot of this, I tell people, it's like, this is more about people than it is dogs. I serve people through dogs because I know how much dogs impact my life. So it's a mentorship style, and I would say most people that have gone through medical difficulties, disabilities, I've gone through multiple surgeries and a lot of medical trauma, and I think most people that have been stuck in the medical world having to have things like this, there's a lot of trauma involved, and just living in pain and living with something that dictates part of your life without you being able to control it. The support, the doctor's not going to mentor you. You know, your physical therapist isn't going to mentor you. So the goal is to build this community of people that support each other and connect and have a safe place to let their hair down a little bit, be real, go, yeah, I'm hurting today, and that's okay. Let's work through it, and let's see what we can do. And teaching them to use the dog, not just to help them walk, you know, if it's a mobility dog, the dog's gonna help them walk and get up and down stairs and do all of that, but the dog's also gonna bring down their blood pressure, and it's gonna give them that extra dopamine to bring their pain levels down and help manage a lot of those things. And when we're dealing with PTSD, these vets, you watch them change as they connect and they take that dog with them. They will do things for their dog that they won't do for their wife, their kids, or their mom. You know, often one of the things that goes with PTSD is like not wanting to leave the house and not wanting to shower, not wanting to care for yourself. And one of my things is, hey guys, you need to look sharp when you go out with your dog so your dog gets treated better. So let's bring it up a notch, right?
Yeah.
It is just a life thing.
Yeah.
You know, so we watch them really step out and step back into life through that. My husband's a Marine, so I know what that looks like from home when you're dealing with going through all of that. And he's great, and my dog loves him. My Captain is, you know, I think he loves my husband more than me sometimes. So, of course, he does give him a lot of treats. So, yeah, makes sense. So we just walk people through this journey, and often we see so much healing come out of it. Can I start? I want to tell a story about one of my veterans.
Yes, oh my gosh, we love stories. Story time.
So, this veteran, he's one of my first ones, and he's a Vietnam vet. I love that. I love working with the older guys and hanging out with them, and I'm a, you know, rough and tumble redneck. I mean, a lot of, that's my roots. So we're talking welding and mechanics and, you know, just that connection. And so those guys are fun for me. And when you're working with a dog, you don't have to look at each other a whole lot. So you have this little, like, safe area to talk. Mm-hmm. And this guy, I mean, he's the sweetest wife ever. And I've been working with him for quite a while. And we were just walking down the road one day, and he was talking to me about my boys and how great it is that they're connected to their mom and they help me and we work together. And then he, you know, we're talking about my oldest, and he's all, when I was his age, I was in Vietnam. I was there. And he starts telling this story about being in a ditch half full of water with his best friend. And he goes, I just missed my mom. And this story starts coming out about his mom and growing up and the ranch that he grew up on in Colorado. And, you know, tears. It's tears, because I love my clients. I love helping people. And just that release for him. And then we started talking about his kids and his daughter. I know, it's a tearjerker one, but we're talking about his daughter that he hadn't talked to in a long time. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you need to call her. You know, man up. Let's man up, say sorry, reconnect. Life's too short. And we got back to the house, and he went in to go put the dog away, and I was talking to his wife, and I kind of just relayed a little bit of our conversation so she would know he's probably a little emotional that day.
Yeah.
And she goes, he's never, ever talked about Vietnam. Ever.
Wow.
And He called his daughter, and he got to meet his grandson.
Oh my God. I haven't talked to my dad for like over 2 years.
And it's a connection. In part, like, it's the heart, but there's also the science. That dog gives you that dopamine and oxytocin to help you feel up and feel safe and be able to release some of that. And I just love it. I love watching healing and connection.
Yeah.
And it swings so far. We have had several young people come through the program, and they're in a bad, dark place. And I was only working with veterans at first, but the need was so big, I was like, I gotta open it up. So I had a hospital call me one day, and it was the psychiatrist from the hospital, and she's all, I have a young person here, and this young person's dog just saved their life from a very dark place. Can you do anything? Through mentorship over almost a year and a half, watched that young person go from a very dark place to just being a normal teenager. The dog serves their best buddies. You just watch that walk through of it's death to life. It's death to life, and that dog made the difference. That dog didn't just save that kid's life that day. It continues to save that kid's life and make the difference and give hope and something to live for. And we get so isolated. And I think we don't realize how isolated our youth are and how fearful they are. The fear that people are carrying right now, it's heavy, you know? I walk into the high schools and I'm looking for that kid all the time when I go visit schools. Whether it's elementary, high school, college, I don't care. I'm always looking for that kid that's in the back, that's quiet, that you see the darkness on, and you go, hey, come pet the dog, you know? And we strike up those conversations and start connecting, and it's absolutely incredible. People want to feel loved. They want to feel connected. They just want value. They want to be valued. And we're so disconnected, especially since COVID. I think COVID just ripped our community apart because we isolated so badly. And that's what this, like, you go from the service program to the therapy program. And all of us, it's the service dogs are serving one person. The therapy dogs are serving the community. So we're walking into that. We're walking into serving a bigger amount of people. And when we go in, we don't get paid for that. And I think that's a big part of it, is being volunteer with the therapy dogs. Because when we walk in, they know we're not getting anything. We're sacrificing to be there because we love them. And we need that. We need more of that in every area of our community. We need to see people step outside of their comfort and outside of, oh, I don't have time, to find a way to give back. Whether it's dogs, whether it's, I just challenged a whole group of ladies. I was like, I don't care if your hobby's knitting. Go invite a high schooler to come knit with you, or crochet or whatever you do. Somebody's going to connect with you and give back and make that free connection of, I just care about you. We're broken in our community. We're divided. We're so torn apart. And that's what I'm fighting, and a lot of what I'm doing is I'm fighting that. is everything from professors and psychiatrists to high schoolers and rednecks to church people to every range of our community is in my group right now. I would say just about every spectrum of the community, there's somebody in the group connected. And I look at my class. I have a class on Sunday morning, and I was actually just talking to one of my ladies this last Sunday. I was like, I am so proud. That is something I am so proud of. I look at my class and this diverse, amazingly diverse group that has all come together to love our community. They would not get along socially. They would not. But because the dogs have combined us in this goal to love our community, they are. They get along, they help each other, they encourage each other. They don't all know each other's stories. I know their stories. So when I watch them walking together and supporting each other and helping each other, and it's amazing. And it shows what we can do and where we can find common ground, because we all want our kids to do well. Everybody. Like, no, I haven't met somebody that has said, no, I want kids to do terrible.
Right.
You know? No, nobody's saying that. Nobody goes, oh, well, you know, throw the elderly away. No, we all want them to do well and be cared for. And that's the common ground. Let's love people in our community and help them. And, you know, we're using the dogs to get there. We're using them to change lives. And last Christmas, we went and we work with Oroville Hospital. They're one of our biggest sponsors. They're incredible. We love working with them. And their leadership believes so much in mental health, and not just for their patients, but for their staff, which is really hard to find. It's really hard to find big organizations like a hospital that size that go, we will support something that helps the mental health of our entire organization, and step up and go, yes, let's do this. And Oroville Hospital's been there since the beginning. They've been like, if this helps our people, be here whenever you can be here. Our door's open to you. And OPAC, which is the longer term rehab care behind the hospital, we've been in there 2.5 years or so. We go every single week and spend time with those patients. And Mike, their director, or their activities director, has been a huge support for us. They couldn't ask for a better guy to have in there. Mike is like the sunshine in OPAC. He knows people's names. He knows what they love. He sings them songs. Like, he's just connecting everywhere he goes. So he's such a good connection for us because of his attitude is the same as ours. Let's go love people. Mm-hmm. The people that have been forgotten. The people that have been, you know, they're sitting in the back room at OPAC. They don't have family. They don't have anybody there for them. And so we walk in there and we have patients that one we lost not long ago was a man that he lost his eyesight, and then he had some other major medical issues, and so he was stuck in OPAC. Nobody there for him. And he lost his dogs when they brought him into OPAC. And so we take the dogs and we bring them up alongside the wheelchair, and we just take his hand and set it on the dog's head. And just tears. He would just instant tears. And, you know, he wouldn't tell us a whole lot, but it was just that release and that love, and that the forgotten isn't forgotten.
How special.
It's incredible to see. And I think that's a lot of what I want people to understand. Even if you're not doing therapy dogs, the reward you get from connecting with people and loving them and getting outside of yourself. You know, is it easy all the time? No, it's not always easy. I mean, we've had some interesting things happen. You know, I had a patient not that long ago grab a hold of me because he didn't want the dog to leave.
Oh my gosh.
And he wouldn't let go of me. So, and, like, he started laughing, but he's like holding onto my arm and like petting the dog, and he didn't want me to leave. And I'm like, I have to like lean out. I'm like, nurse, I need some help. So, I mean, you get some interesting situations, and it's sad because like the man that we were serving that had lost his eyesight, like, we lost him. He passed away, and you grieve that. We have a good debriefing for our handlers as they go through. So when they deal with a loss like that, we go and talk, and we do some sit down. And we have, I don't know, not exactly sure how many therapists are involved with the program now, but it's a lot. We have a lot of therapists, 2 psychiatrists and several therapists and numerous teachers. And so it's like some really cool people that help support each other when hard things happen. And we're there, you know, when there's a loss at a school, we have a crisis team. Love these people. I love these people. Their heart, when there's a crisis at a school, they drop everything, and we spend a good week out at these schools with the dogs, just loving on these kids and give them decompression time. And we did one in Red Bluff High School year before last. And I would say we probably met with over 500 students in just that one day that I was up in Red Bluff. And
It's a lot.
it's a lot. And we're just like, we're out in the quad area where they're doing lunch and stuff, and the kids are just out there just laying on the ground with the dogs. Like, some of them are tough kids. Like, these are some tough kids. And they're laying there with my big old golden retriever, just hugging him and talking to each other about their loss, and talking about the dog, and then talking about their loss, and then talking to the dog, and it's just kind of release. We go around. One of the Corning's schools, well, 2, because it was brothers that were lost last year in a boat accident. And, you know, the elementary kids, the junior high kids, it's so hard for them to deal with a loss like that, you know. And I remember the first friend I lost, I was in junior high, the first time I lost a friend. And it's not something we really teach kids, is how to cope with such a heavy loss. And they, you know, junior highers think they're invincible. Like, nothing can happen to me. I'm going to drive my bike off this roof, you know. So it hits them so hard. And we just spent the day with all those kids, and we had teams take every day of the week. And so we're there, and, you know, just laying on the bean bags with the dog and playing games with them, and just giving them a place to process. Where do we have that? You have to pay for that. Like, as an adult, as anybody in the society, if you're grieving and you're going through heavy things and you need to talk about it, you're going to pay for it usually, unless you have somebody good in your life. You know, a lot of people don't. And so these kids having a place to just unload this, you know, I don't know what else we could give them that's more valuable. And being able to process that and just connecting with them, connecting and loving them, and they know we don't have any other agenda.
That's probably such a relief for people. You know, like, there's no strings attached to this. It's just a free service.
Yeah, you know, we just don't do that. Everybody wants something. And, you know, coming to dog training costs something. I can't do it for free. I would love to.
Right.
I mean, we are working on our 501, so hopefully we can do more and open it up more, and that will help us if people will donate when we get that. We do have some sponsors right now, but Corning Fire Department is actually one of our biggest sponsors.
Oh,
So we love Corning Fire Department. They have been sponsoring us for 3 years now. And one of our handlers, Jeff Nelson, he's actually works for the volunteer fire department there, and he was the Corning High School football coach for a long time. And his wife, Brenda, she taught at Rancho Tehama when the shooting happened out there. So they have such a big heart because they've walked people through hardship and they've walked through deep waters themselves. And they have a little mini Aussie named Blitz. And he's the cutest thing. He's a little blue merle. And he acts like a little old man. He's very quiet and calm. And they go do debriefings for the hospital and fire departments and really connect with our first responders in helping them decompress a little bit. So, Corning has really been appreciative of that and having us be involved. And so, they've been a great sponsor. And the first responders are a whole nother level. And we, during all the fires, during search and rescue operations or other things going on in the community, we usually connect with our first responders and go out to their base camps and just hang out with them. And, I don't know, dude, that's another tearjerker. You watch this big, tough sheriff's officer or firefighter, and they just get on the ground and they're hugging the dogs and, and just, but like search and rescue's hard.
Oh, I bet.
And just going out there and loving them too. And I think that comes back full circle because the mental health. And we want a certain thing from our public servants. And there's a lot of conflict in that world right now too. But how are we supporting them? If you want change, and you're just going to whine about it and complain you want change, but you don't do anything, if you're going to complain about something, get up and do something. If you,
100%.
I have a heart for these law enforcement guys. They're dealing with just negative after negative after negative, and then we expect them to be happy and jovial and deal with people softly. And that's not how this plays out. If that's all they're getting and we don't support them and they feel like we're criticizing them all the time, where's their support? There's actually one of the programs we sponsor is Swing for Caesar, which is right here in Butte County. An officer that he lost hope. And we lost him, and his family lost him. And as we were looking at this tragedy, realized there really wasn't the mental health support for him. And so Swing for Caesar pays for therapist visits for officers that have been through trauma.
It's a great program.
It's a great program. It's a great program, and I'm so happy to be connected with them. And they do a big dinner every year and a golf tournament, and it's really a positive thing where we're watching, hey, how do we meet this need? And so having that connection with them. And there's so much in there. I don't know. It's the care for life and valuing life. It's how we change things. Loving the person in front of you. I can't change anything on the national level or the world level and all those stressful things, and the news lately has been terrible and all of these heavy things and the diversity and the divisiveness. if we just make that choice to love the person in front of us right now and go, you have value. I mean, it's as little as letting somebody into traffic, or seeing the person with a disability and going, hey, you could go in line in front of me. Can I help you?
So true. So true.
How do we build that? How do we build more of that in our community? I'm doing what I know how to do. I know how to love people through dogs. That's what I know how to do, and I kind of reach the areas where my heart is, because I'll get into you can use this or not use this. So I go to schools because school was traumatizing for me. I mean, early 80s, elementary school with dyslexia and ADHD.
Yeah.
That's back when teachers got to hit you. So it was rough. It was really, really rough going through school for me. And I didn't have good teachers. I think my first really good teacher was in junior high, and she wasn't even like a licensed teacher. She was my dentist's wife who came and worked at our school. And Gail Null. Gail Null, if you watch this, I love you still. Gail gave me value. And she says, it doesn't matter if you can spell everything correctly, you still have value. All of my teachers up till then were like, you're a failure. And I have to say, still going on school campuses is stressful for me. And working with so many teachers initially, I never planned on working with so many teachers. And I homeschooled my boys all the way through, so they didn't have to deal with that. And my boys did amazing. They're all phenomenal kids, earning their weight in the world, building their careers, doing great. And I've learned a lesson, because I would say 10 years ago, the people in the community I was most critical of were teachers. And over building this, I've learned to have compassion for teachers. The people I didn't get along with are now some of my good friends. Carol Rose, Carol Frink, she's one of my handlers, and she's a retired teacher out of Biggs. She has Lady, the Dutch Shepherd.
Aww.
And Carol will tell you, she's hippie, she's happy, she is the silver lining in the cloud, she's a free spirit, and I did not know what to do with her at the beginning. So she brought me this Dutch Shepherd that she bought out of the front yard of a drug house. And she goes, can this be my service dog? And I'm like, what? It's like the dog's just rolling and flipping, had never been on a leash before. I'm like, we'll just get through basics. Let's get through basics first. Mm-hmm. And now Carol, she works at Gridley Hospital, Oroville Hospital, nursing homes, schools. She takes that dog all over, and it's also her service dog. So they are both still very free spirits and very exuberant, and they love everybody. And Carol kind of broke that for me, was like, okay, I'm going to let go of that animosity towards teachers, because I wish I had had Carol in school. I wish I had had her. She's an amazing lady. And it's just, being able to work with these people that are not normal people I would hang out with. So we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun, and watching her go out and serve and give back, and I think she's learned a lot from me too. I think we've been able to have some really deep conversations, and I wouldn't be the person she would pick originally either. But if Carol called me at 11 o'clock at night and said, I need you, I'd be there, and she'd be there for me too. And we came past all those hurdles. And, going into the schools now, I feel passionate about it, I feel passionate about walking in there not just for the students, but for the teachers and the stress they're under. Oh my gosh, the stress the teachers are under right now, I don't know how they're not just going on to other jobs in droves, because it's really stressful. It's hard to be on a school campus, and it doesn't feel safe. And I want to support them. I want to help them feel safer. And I want them to feel cared for and loved. And I want to bring that dopamine and oxytocin and the healing that happens through your brain through lowering your stress. And I think not just for the students, but you watch those teachers go back in their classroom with a big smile. And you go, because that teacher was just cared for and loved, now she's going to go back in her classroom with less stress and be able to love those students. That's huge. And that oxytocin dopamine hit that they get from the dog, it lasts for a couple hours. So you got some time that it is working. And we go in. Gerber School is one of our big schools we work with. Jenny Montoya is the principal and superintendent out there, and she has one of our therapy dogs, Lucy, and she's working on a second therapy dog, Thelma. And they just, they love big, and they want to help the mental health of their school. And so we'll go out on testing days, and we just stand in front of the school on testing days and let all the kids say hi to the dogs as they're going in. The cool thing is you start seeing test scores come up.
Wow.
And you see kids happier to go in the classroom, and they're not, because we just flip that switch in their brain, They get a dopamine hit from playing video games, it lasts a few minutes. But from the dogs, it lasts quite a while. And they get the oxytocin, which makes them feel safe and secure so they can concentrate and they can be more successful. So Bidwell Junior High is another one. Dave McKay, man, shout out to Dave. He has done some great work here. He trained Macy, and she's a little beagle mix that he got from the shelter, straight up rescue, great little dog. And Dave started a thing where he does an incentive program with the kids, where the kids have been missing school or things like that. It's like, hey, if you can make it every day this week, you're going to play with Macy on Friday. Well, that's the goal now, because playing with Macy is the gold star. And they actually got an award the first year that he had the dog in the school got an award for their most improved attendance out of all the schools in Chico Unified.
Wow.
So, it's physical changes. It's real tangible things that are changing by having a dog. Corning Unified, their whole elementary district, their superintendent for Corning Unified, phenomenal lady, and Corning Unified came together to pay for the training for 2 therapy dogs for their schools, and they had 2 of their employees come through, and they spent about a year and a half with me, walking through all the training with their dogs and getting certified. And I go to the schools with them and mentor them through their first bit, so they're not just released after graduating. The whole district has come together on it and go, this is valuable to our schools. So those school therapy dogs that stay at the school, they're with a staff member, they're there on a regular basis, they make that impact. where you're, just consistency. It changes the culture of the school. It's that reminder of value, of valuing mental health and changing that culture of stress into a culture of positivity. You can't look at Rocky the boxer without smiling. Rocky the boxer, he is so fun, and he's so goofy, and I don't know what kind of person couldn't look at him and just, you have to smile. And his handler, she truly cares. She truly deeply cares for those kids, and she's willing to sacrifice her time and energy it's not always easy. You have to keep your dog groomed. You have to keep up on all your vet records all the time. You have to, keep practicing every week so the dog stays up to snuff. And then packing a dog up every morning when you're going to school and bringing it with you, that's a sacrifice on those teachers' parts that are bringing those dogs in and stepping out of their, comfort zone and easier area to give back to these kids. She doesn't have to do that. And we have Bear's the other one. Bear's at one of the other schools in Corning, and fluffy German Shepherd mix, and just the warmth, that, and I think it's almost a little bit of home too, when you see a pet in a school environment, it's a little bit of home, it's a little bit of comfort, it's not as sterile. So I like that warmth, and I like seeing teachers being able to warm up and give and show love for those kids. So.
Oh, cool. And it's a huge impact to hospitals, first responders, schools. I mean, you're making big impacts in a lot of places.
It's a lot more than what I planned. Yeah, I think our next step, we're kind of in this spot right now where we're growing past what I can do on my own. So I don't have any employees. I used to have 19 employees in my last company, and the stress of that. And being in California, being in business in California is hard.
Oh, yeah.
California is not easy on small business.
No.
It's stressful being here. Because I was in Colorado for 14 years. Colorado loves small business. They're so easy. And you feel like your community supports you in small business in Colorado. It's a different culture. And coming here has been really hard because you kind of feel like you don't know what's going to happen next all the time. Mm-hmm. I think that's part of it too, is the California culture. We live in such a gorgeous state. Our land is so beautiful. But I've worked in several states. California culture is stressed. I want to see that change. I want to see some of the culture that I've experienced other places come here. I want some of the city people to pick up small town. And I mean, the good parts of, I lived in the Rocky Mountains. If you're not nice to your neighbor, you might be stuck in a ditch one day in the 0 degrees. You need that neighbor. So you're nice to your neighbor because it's community and you need each other. And we have so much here, we have so much abundance here that we don't need each other very much. At least we don't think so. We really do, but we don't think so. We feel like we could just do it on our own because we have so much here. And I want people to feel like, you know what, I might run into Jan tomorrow, and I might, need something, and I want to reciprocate that and look after my neighbor, you know? It's love your neighbor as yourself.
Oh, I haven't heard that.
Love your neighbor as yourself, right? If we treat each other with kindness, it will change our culture. And, if my little group I have like 75 people right now, 75 dogs, so it's more than 75 people. If I can get just my little group loving their neighbor and caring and taking time, I think it will have a wider impact on our community in general. And if I can do that, then I've succeeded. So, I want to see more of this. I want to see, just this last week, we actually worked with another big dog training company, and I'm also connecting with another therapy dog program. And these are people I should be competing with. I want to break that. The competition is good in one way, but when we break that down and go, the community is more important than competition, and there's enough abundance in this community that I don't have to worry about making money tomorrow, there's plenty for everybody. If you're confident and competent, I don't think you got to worry about having what you need. I put the work in, and abundance comes back. And I care for others, and abundance comes back. And, you don't always get what you give into the world. I have been through enough to know that you can be a really nice person and have really bad things happen. And, it rains on everybody, the good and, the good and the bad, it rains on everybody. But you don't let the bad things in life determine who you're going to be. We go through tragedies, and you have a choice to take your tragedy and go, how do I make the world a better place through what I've been through? Or get angry and wallow in self-pity and poor me and victimhood. And when you choose to go put good back in the world after you've been through tragedy and hardship, you win. You have beat that bad thing that happened. You've beat that adversity, that whatever it is trying to beat you down, whether it's a health problem, whether it's a divorce, whether it's, your car breaking down, or, so many things. You go, okay, I can choose to still be a good person, and I can choose, even like me going through bad time in school, to take that animosity I had towards the school system and go, I'm going to go love these kids and teachers. I've won. I won through my tragedy. I won through the abuse. That first grade teacher that slapped me full out of my chair, I won. Her anger didn't win. I won. I rose above it. And we have to look at that. And all the social media, all the TV, all the news, all the anger. Yeah, sure, get angry about stuff. Then go do good. I told this, I went and spoke at Inspire High School right after the election. And a lot of the kids were upset about the election and the way it went. All right. You guys are learning, and I expect some of you to make national impact, if not worldwide impact. I expect those kids. Those kids at Inspire are great kids. They are brilliant. They are going to make an impact. But my point to them that day was, I don't care if you're 15, 16, 17 years old, go make an impact right now today. If you see negative things in the world, go impact somebody right now. Right here, your neighbor. Go mow the lady next door's lawn. Go do something good, because that's going to fill that hole of anger and put something positive in it. We can't leave that empty. We have to fill it with something positive. And, you know, then all the kids came and laid on the dogs, and we just loved on everybody and helped them decompress, you know, and step away from all the sensationalism of our social media and TV and all that garbage. Like, turn your TV off. Turn your TV off. Turn your phone off. Go for a walk. Go outside. Like, we are so fortunate in Chico to have so many amazing parks and outdoor spaces to go and live in such a beautiful place. Turn that garbage off. You know, go pet your dog.
Yeah, take your dogs out.
So we teach everybody, I don't care what kind of dog I'm training, we teach everybody when you're feeling that stress, and your dog often will tell you when you're feeling stress, go sit down with your dog, put your phone down, whatever's in your hand, you put it down, and you go sit on the ground with your dog or sit in a chair, and you just pet that dog's ears, and you take deep breaths, at least 30 seconds. It takes 30 seconds for that dopamine to release in your brain and the oxytocin. So you take that break, put down everything, go pet your dog, take those deep breaths, think something positive, and it changes the whole mode of what you're doing, and just resets you. Just that reset of, okay, I can do this. I can go on. I can do tomorrow. I can keep going.
So you have a few different services, because people can bring their dogs to you and they can become service dogs, because I know there's a difference between service dogs and therapy dogs. So what are some of the services that you offer? Dog training, all kinds of stuff.
So yeah, like our Sunday class and our Tuesday class, Tuesdays in Corning and Sundays here in Chico. And that's like, we really focus on the AKC. I follow all the AKC Good Citizen standards. So there's like 4 levels of AKC Good Citizen, which starts with Star Puppy, which is adorable. And they move up through, they can do urban and community canine, which are more, they actually go out in public places and practice and do certain tasks, and they can get awards for all these things. And it just gives us a really good base standard for all of our dogs. And any service or therapy dog that goes through my program does all of the AKC Good Citizen program, because it just, we know we have all the basics, and it gives people a checklist. I like checklists. I like numbers and checklists, so it's a lot of fun. And it's great to get a ribbon at the, you know, when you've been practicing hard and you get to win your ribbon. So everybody starts with that and going through that. And then the service dogs, we do the private training, do everything on a monthly membership. So it's like a gym membership. You get 4 hours of private training a week, and then you can do up to 4 group classes a week, or a month, sorry. So it's 4 hours of private training a month and 4 group classes a month on that monthly membership. And so during the private training, they're getting, whether they're doing service or therapy, they're getting the specific training for that. Service dogs have to do a medical task for somebody, right? They're telling them if they're going to have a seizure, they're alerting to their diabetes, they're helping them with hearing assistance, they're helping with mobility. And I mean, there's a whole array. We have a client with POTS that will pass out on the ground, and her dog actually tells her before so she can sit down so she doesn't hit the ground. Just I try to meet people where they're at. We're always growing that. We're doing a dog right now to detect gluten for a client that's very highly allergic to gluten. And so he's learning to do that, and he's great. We've done some dogs for children that elope. So usually they have a level of autism, and we can tether the dog to them so that if they try to run out in the street, the dog will just lay down and not let them run into the street. The PTSD and my veterans, and they benefit so greatly, and it's great to watch them work with their dogs. But if you've never been around a veteran that's been through hard things, like waking them up in the morning can be a really hard thing. But seriously, 100% of my veterans, they don't get angry when their dog wakes them up. Like their wife can say, hey, go wake up Joe. And the dog goes, wakes up Joe. Joe's fine. I got my dog, right? Wakes them up from nightmares, helps them calm down, often things like fireworks and things like that are an issue. So the dog learns to come give them some deep pressure and help bring their blood pressure down when those things are going on. So the service dogs, they're all doing a tangible task. One of my standards for all of my dogs, service and therapy, is I won't graduate them unless I trust them with my 4-year-old granddaughter. If I wouldn't let them play with my grandkids, I'm not gonna graduate them. That's just my standard. And they don't need me. So I want this to be clear. You can train your own service dog. You do not need a certificate off the internet. You do not need a Walmart vest or an Amazon vest. You don't need any of that. The dog has to be well behaved and do a physical task for you that helps you medically. That's the ADA main requirements. And you can pull up the ADA and read them. They don't have to have a vest. They don't need markings. They don't, they're, the only questions businesses are allowed to ask them is that a service dog? What service does it provide? The only times they can deny them is if they're gonna be in danger by being someplace, or they're gonna put somebody else in danger. Like your dog is not gonna go to the surgery with you. That's not gonna be safe for anybody. Right. So they're not gonna work in a commercial kitchen. That's not safe for anybody. So there's some common sense things in there, but for the most part, service dogs can go everywhere. They have the right to go everywhere. They can fly on an airplane, they can go in a restaurant, they can go into a medical office, and they cannot be denied. If the dog is unruly, or they're not allowed to be on food surfaces, you can't put your dog on the table at the restaurant. I don't care if it's a miniature Chiweenie. It cannot be on the table at the restaurant. That's not okay. Don't put it in your shopping cart. That is where food goes. We don't do that. We have really, we're gonna respect the community around us. I teach all of my clients, if there's somebody that looks worried, because a lot of people are afraid of dogs, somebody looks worried, go around. We're not gonna get in that person's space. We're gonna be respectful, So a lot of what they're doing through my program is the mentorship part, so they can be successful and not cause conflict. So we don't want conflict. My goal is that nobody even knows they have a service dog with them, that dog is so quiet and well behaved that nobody even sees it. When we get up from a restaurant and somebody goes, oh, you have a dog, we won. That's great, good, gold star. The dog is for them. It's not for anybody else. It's not to get attention. Although when they wear shoes, they always get attention. We hear it over and over and over. All the dogs have to learn to wear shoes because it's too hot here for them to go barefoot. And so the service dog programs, it's really fun. It's very rewarding. And it's also very serious. So, they don't need my certificate. But if they graduate my program, I don't care if they're from 10 years ago or from yesterday. If something happens, whether it's a problem with a landlord or, Lord forbid, they go to court or something, I'm going to be there for them. And I'm very consistent about that. So I just helped a client in Colorado Springs that had a problem with a landlord. And, you know, I'm going to help with that. Like, we got it taken care of. So it's the support system is a lot of what they're getting through working with me. And then the therapy program, it's some of the most kind, compassionate people you'll ever want to meet. Because they're not only donating their time, they're paying me money to come train their dog. And plus putting in, you know, hours every week. And so those dogs, we have relationships with stores all over town. Corning, Chico,
Like
Oroville.
Eleanor?
Yeah.
I met Hondo, Dr. Dina
Hondo.
Rainbow.
Yes, Hondo's fantastic. Hondo is a special Frenchie, I will tell you. I have not had any Frenchies that have graduated the therapy dog program. Hondo is on his way. He is a sweetheart of a Frenchie, and he loves people, and he's a great dog. And love what Dina's doing, because she cares about not just the physical part of her clients, but the mental well-being of her clients. That heart. And what I say about incredible people, those kind, compassionate people that go beyond what normal society expects. And so we put in the work with these therapy dogs. I would say the therapy dogs overall are actually more training than service dogs a lot of the time.
Oh, wow.
Because a service dog works with one person. The therapy dogs work with hundreds, if not thousands of people.
Well, that's true. They get a lot more interaction
Yeah.
and touching and...
Yeah, my estimate on Captain last year, my dog, he visited with over 5,000 people last year.
Oh my gosh. And that's just 1 year.
Yeah, that's 1 year. And so they have to be very resilient and extroverted and, you know, be able to carry that load, you know. We do sometimes up to 3 hours at the hospital. And, man, he is out cold the whole drive home. But the time we put into that and the mentorship we put into that I go with them, and I don't get paid for that time. I go with them for several visits and to train them and get them ready and make sure they're super safe, working around medical equipment, working around things like that. So it's how to set up a dog next to a wheelchair, how to watch out for an IV line, you know, we do chin, where the dog comes and puts its chin right in your hand. Aww. And then you place their head right where the person needs to be able to reach it. And there's so many little details in there. And like I did the therapy dog training, my initial one was 15 years ago, my first therapy dog. And I went through the testing, and they're like, okay, go. They just trusted me to go to nursing homes without any supervision, or it wasn't very safe. I was managing 3 little boys and a dog, and I needed a little more. And so I still will help people graduate from another program. If they want to do one of the national programs, I'm happy with that. If they want to graduate my therapy dog program, I have very high standards. We're in schools. We're at the hospital. We are going to have a high standard. They have to come, even after they graduate, they have to come to something I do once a month. So I have eyeballs on that dog. I'm seeing the dog every month to make sure they're still cool, they're doing well. They have to keep all their records with me, all their vet records. And they participate in our programs. We go do dinners together. We do, you know, things like that. So we're just staying in this community connection. And that way we know I'm still cool with this dog being with my granddaughter.
Yeah, well, and that's your name and your reputation with that dog.
It really is.
So.
Yeah, and we have our own insurance program too. So we have an umbrella that covers all of these dogs that are under my name.
Oh, wow.
And so and I do like twice the amount that we need to have. that's required. So we're going to be responsible with what we do and make sure that's taken care of and cross all our T's and dot all our I's.
Definitely. And you said that you're at the point where you're doing as much as you can as one person. So what are some things that you're looking forward to with the company?
The therapy dog side is where, like, I'm really trying to bring more volunteers on board. I'd say I'm pretty overwhelmed with the amount of just paperwork and keeping track of everything, and trying to get the 501 stuff together, writing bylaws and stuff. Oh my gosh. Like I said, I'm dyslexic, so I will, but it's hard getting that stuff done. So we're right now just looking for people that are willing to come in on that side a little bit and help facilitate what we're doing. And just really, we actually need more dogs. We need more therapy dogs. I could fill more spots all the time. I have so many requests, and you start getting run a little ragged because I want to meet everybody's need, and I can't meet every need. So yeah, bringing in, getting more dogs trained and more people out there that have the time. I love my retirees that can go during weekdays and have that freedom to do that a little bit. And a lot of my people right now are dedicated to one school, because we have 18 schools right now.
Wow.
So, and then several of my people are at their max. I have, Marley's supposed to be coming in here after a while, and they go to Gridley Hospital, they go to Oroville Hospital, they go to Hope Memory Care, they also help at the schools, and they help at my events. And they're a phenomenal couple. They just give and give and give, but I can't ask any more of them. So we just need more people. We need more hands on deck and getting the job done and meeting the needs. And so we're kind of waiting for that to happen, and it's actually limiting the amount of service dogs I can train because of just the time restraints. I can't do any more. I put in 70-hour weeks a lot of the time. So it's it's a lot, and it's really good. I have some great volunteers. Lori Ziegler has been working with me since she was 14.
Wow.
And she's been with me 6 years now. And so she trains dogs also and helps with a lot of the basic training and picks up that end of it for me. But yeah, finding people willing to step up it's always a challenge.
Yeah.
So.
And if anybody is interested in joining a program or with some volunteer work, I know that you have a Facebook and an Instagram. What's the best way for people to get in contact with you?
My phone number is actually right on there. You can Google it. Send me a text message.
Okay.
It sometimes takes me a little while to get back. I get an average of 100 text messages a day.
Oh my gosh.
So if it takes me a couple days, just be patient with me. Maybe send me a reminder if you don't hear back right away. I don't have a secretary. I wish I did. But yeah, just send me a text message. That's the best way to get a hold of me. And if you want to get involved, and I'll get you set up, because it is a lot of fun. And I do have high standards. I will say, I fire probably around 3 clients a year.
Really?
If somebody is divisive or, not lending to the peace of the community, I will recommend another trainer to them.
You have to meet the Sadie gold
It
standard.
It's a little bit of an application process. It is not just, I want to be in your program, I'm signing up. I can only serve so many. It's just me. So it is a little bit of application, and I'm going to make sure I have the people that serve the community and are going to fit what I can do. I can't do a seeing eye dog. I don't have the time or capacity for that. and I don't have a big facility. That's one of the ways I keep my price really reasonable, is by partnering with businesses and places like Card and Lowe's and JCPenney's and Ace Hardware and, these great places, stores in our community that go, yes, come train here. And so I don't have a big kennel, I don't have a big facility. If I did that, the price would double.
At least.
At least, our insurance has gone up every year for the last 4 years. So, just being in California, because we're, the crime rate right here in Chico is pretty high. It just keeps jacking up our insurance. And I'm like, I don't have any tangible things for anybody to steal. They're like, it doesn't matter. You live in that zip code, so.
Wow.
So yeah, those things all play in, but I work really hard at keeping the price low. So I think that's what we started with is, you're looking at a service dog. If you want to just buy a fully trained service dog, you're looking at $50,000 plus. If you go through my program, you're looking at $8,000, but it's over 2 years.
That's
Around eight, a little low, can be a little more, depending on the dog and your ability to train on your own too. So. And I can't do the dogs where I have to do all the physical work. The owner has to be able to do some of it themselves. So I can't take on some of those. I don't have a boarding facility. We do board dogs out at the ranch in Flournoy, but those are mostly the dogs in our program. My parents actually still run a sheep ranch out west of Corning.
Oh, cool.
And so they board our dogs from our program, and I like them going there because they get treated like family.
Yeah.
So my mom loves on those dogs. Her dad was the dog trainer, and that's the ranch he had. That's his ranch. It's been in the family a long time. So they take care of our dogs as far as boarding, but it's just not that kind of program. It's not normal dog training either. Like, it's not like going to one of the big pet store supply places that do puppy classes. It's not going to be like that. When we're in class, like group class and stuff, we're actually working on service and therapy tasks in class. They're learning how to hold a standing stay. And they're learning, we do greetings. So they walk up to each other and the dog stands behind them, and it has to be totally neutral. It's not allowed to say hi to anybody. It stays behind the person while the person greets somebody else, and they talk for a minute, and then they walk by each other, and the dogs have to be completely neutral and leave each other alone, right? That's a life skill for a dog, so they're safe with each other. You're not going to do that in most dog classes. That's actually, I think, one of my clients' favorite parts of class, because they all get jibber-jabbering with each other, and they're like, how was your week? And that's the time that always makes me smile, because I see the professor from the college chit-chatting with the high schooler that's been in juvie.
Yeah.
You're like, yes! And you see like these great community connections of some of those people are like, how can I actually help you not in dog training? And like I've had some really good experiences with some of the big fish in the community, meeting some of the very small fish in the community, and valuing them and going, hey, I have a connection for you. Let me open this door for you. When would that kid ever talk to a professor that has a door for them?
Right. How cool.
So yeah, lots of fun. And so the therapy dogs, yeah, they're going through all their mentorship, and we're going to fit them where they need. We have, just this last year, we've started working with hospice here. So that's another area that is just opening up, is working with hospice. And I have a really great lady running that. She's just got a huge heart, and she's worked in the medical field. And so, yeah, we would just keep growing.
And we're going to be meeting one of the dogs, right?
Yes, Marley should be here anytime.
All right, well, let's get ready to meet Marley. And thank you so much for sharing your story of this episode. Good job.
Cool.
Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and contact Sadie. The community needs volunteers. I was just telling, I met with the Kelly Griggs house in Red Bluff. It's the house
I've
museum.
been there. Yeah.
It's awesome, right?
It's great, yes.
A lot of the wonderful programs that do wonderful things for the community, like your own, it's community, it's volunteer driven. So, and you said earlier, like nobody has time, everybody's super busy, but just try to I'm sure a couple hours a week with you would make a huge difference. So get out there and help where you can, and like I said, like, share, subscribe, share all the awkward social media stuff. And I'm super excited to meet Marley.
Yes.
To meet Marley.
Marley is a 2-year-old sheepadoodle, mini sheepadoodle, which is Old English sheepdog and poodle. He's 75% poodle, 25% sheepdog. And we started training, well, when he was 9 months old, he was so full of energy, we decided he needed some professional training. So we went and met Sadie, and he started getting his socialization skills, and Sadie recommended or suggested that he would make a good therapy dog. So he got his Star Puppy Award. He passed that and started training with Lori, one of Sadie's trainers, and eventually in last December got decertified as a therapy dog. So he goes to hospitals, to schools, to assisted living centers, to dementia daycare centers, and does visits.
How fun. Well, can I see you now? Oh, I bet. He is just the cutest. Come here, can I see you now?
Sit it down.
We have to be
He's still full of a lot of energy. But the thing is, when he gets ready to go to work and he goes to meet up with, say, the hospital, he knows that he has to calm down and behave himself.
He has a stroller too.
Oh, do you have
Yeah.
a stroller?
When he goes to the hospital, he's in a stroller, gets him up to bed height, so the patients don't have to
Yeah, you
bend
just
over.
saw that I'm here.
Oh, he wants to see Sadie.
You said, I know, I will come to you. Oh my goodness.
A sheepadoodle?
Sheepadoodle.
Oh, how cute. I've never seen a sheepadoodle.
Okay, okay. You got your hello.
Well, they're known to be real energetic, especially when they're puppies. And sit. That's why we decided he needed some formal training. Because we
You know,
weren't.
dogs are dogs. And like him or my dog, Captain, I run Captain for a good hour before we do visits because they're like
Well, yeah,
2-year-olds.
he got a half-hour walk before we came. But as soon as they see Sadie,
People. Yes, he loves people. That is what he does. Such an awesome job as therapy. He loves the kids when we go to school.
sit.
He loves the older people. He just sits and lets them scratch his back, play with his ears.
Well, thank you for bringing him in today. You are the cutest. You can tell he loves Sadie. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much would you guys recommend Sadie in her programs?
oh, 10.
10 plus.
Definitely.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
What about you, buddy? A 10?
Oh, he loves her. So that's definitely a 10.